Hello everyone, welcome to Mathematics Unit 1. This video will focus on 6G. The learning intention is to solve cubic inequalities. And the success criteria is I know the steps to solve the cubic inequality. Okay, now here I have written the 4 different steps over here to show you how to solve the cubic inequality. The first step, you need to factorize the polynomial, okay? So the first step is always factorize the polynomial into the bracket form, okay? So the bracket form like that. This is actually something what we have done in 6D, okay? So if you're not familiar with how to factorize the polynomial, you have to go back to check the notes for 6D, okay? Or have a look about the videos. 6D. So in your booklet, we have 3 different methods. We have taking the common factor out, and we also can do the grouping to factorize the polynomial. And the third one, and you also can use factorized form followed by the non-division to find the to factorize the polynomial into the bracket form. So all of this is what I have learned in 6D, okay? And then we are up to step 2, and then you're gonna let the factorize inequality equal to 0, and then to find all the x-intercept, all right? And then step 3, after you find all the x-intercept, then you will use that all the x-intercept to draw the cubic graph. Okay, so step 2, step 3, this is something we did in 6F. Okay, drawing the graph. If you are not familiar about 6, if you're having problem doing step 2 and step 3, that means you need to go back to check your notes on 6F and then have a look about those examples over there. After you finish step 2 and step 3, and then that means you already got the cubic graph, and then you're going to solve the inequality by inspecting the graph, okay? Now, let me use example 28 to show you how to apply these 4 different steps. Example 28 on your booklet, we are asked you to find x cubed plus x squared minus 5x plus 3 smaller than 0, okay, smaller and equal to 0. So this is in inequality, okay? So then what we can do is step 1. Like I said, you need to factorize that. So we're gonna let x squared plus x cubed plus x squared minus 4x plus 3. So we're gonna let that. We will let p of x equal to this. Okay, so this is my polynomial, x cubed plus x squared minus 5x plus 3. Okay, so then I am gonna factorize it. So then if you go to check my notes, step 1, all the 3 steps, and then grouping method, it doesn't work. And if you try common factor, this one, they don't have the common factor for all of these different terms, all right? Now, so that means we need to use a factor theory with the non-division method to factorize it, okay? So then you see this one is my common factor, 3. So we're gonna find all the factor of 3. So it could be positive, negative 1, positive, negative 3. So you're gonna try all of this to substitute into your polynomial to see whether you get 0. Okay, so then we're gonna try. So you will try p. You're gonna try p equal to negative 1 and p equal to 1, and then when x is equal to negative 1, so negative 1 cubed plus negative 1 squared minus 5 times negative 1 plus 3, and then that is not equal to 0. Okay, and then we're gonna try p. When x is equal to 1, then substituting your polynomial. Then you'll have 1 cubed plus 1 squared minus 5 plus 3. And then you have 2 minus 5 plus 3 is equal to 0. Alright, so this one is my... Okay, so according to the factor theory, so p of 1 equal to 0, so therefore x minus 1, okay, this x minus 1 is a factor, okay? So then we find a factor, then we're going to do long division, okay? So my dividend, x cubed plus x squared minus 5x plus 3 divided by my factor, x minus 1, okay? Then you do the non-division, all right? And after you finish non-division, you will have x squared plus 2x plus minus 3, okay? I need you to finish the non-division process, okay? and then eventually you have this. So therefore your x cubed plus x squared minus 5x plus 3 will be equal to x minus 1, your divisor, times your quotient x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay, so this is p of x. Okay, because we are trying to find p of x smaller than 0, so therefore we are looking for x, because p of x is equal to this part. So therefore x minus 1 times x squared plus 2x minus 3 is we're trying to find this one smaller and equal to 0. All right, so we have finished step 1. You see step 1 we factorize into this bracket form. So over here they are all bracket, but however so this one you can even simplify further, and then you will have by doing the if you further factorize further, you have x minus 1. So this part will give me x minus 1 and x plus 3 smaller than 0. Okay, and then you will have these two x minus 1, so minus 1 times x minus 1, so that become x minus 1 square x plus 3 smaller than 0. Okay, so we are solving out this now. So then let's do step 2. Let the factorized inequality equal to 0 to find all the x-intercept. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do. Okay, and then we're up to step 2. We will let the polynomial factorized polynomial. So this is the factorized bracket form equal to 0. So then we're gonna find all the x that make this equation true. All right, so by law of factor, either x minus 1 square equal to 0 or x plus 3 equal to 0. Okay, so x will be equal to 1 and x will be equal to negative 3. So these are my two solution for this. But one thing I want you to know is, you see that square over here? So if that is square, that means the square. So that means x minus 1, you actually have, this is your repeated factor. Okay, repeated factor. All right, and then just be aware this square. So when you solve out this, x is equal to 1 is repeated factor. So this is actually two solution, x equal to 1 overlapped. Okay, so they are the same, so we only write once, but you need to be aware it is 2 x equal to 1 because they overlapped. All right, so now here is the two solution, and we finished step 2. Now we find all x-intercept, and then we need to do step 3, draw the graph. Okay, draw the graph. Step 3, draw the graph, and then I will just plot all my x-intercept equal to 1 and negative 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that's my 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So I have my x is equal to negative 3 and my x is equal to 1. Okay, so now check the a value. Since here that is 1, okay, because we know that is my form for my cubic equation, and then that a is the number in front of the bracket. So in this case a is equal to 1. Okay, so it's larger than 0. Right, if you are not sure what we're doing over here, you need to go back to check your 6F video. Okay, so the detailed explanation will be explained in 6F video. So here I'm just quickly go through the steps again, but not in detail. So a is equal to 1 over here. A equal to 1, larger than 0. So that means we're going from the top right to draw the wave. So we're starting from top right, and then since x equal to 1 is repeated factor. Okay, it is repeated factor, then it is a turning point. Okay, so it is a turning point. As soon as you see that repeat factor, then that tells you it is a turning point. is a turning point. So when you draw the graph over here, you're not across it, you're not cutting it. So you're gonna do a touch, okay? So you do a touch and you do the turning because that's your turning point because this is a repeated factor. And then you come back and then you see your x is equal to -3 right over here. That is your next x-intercept. So you need to find a way to come back to across it. All right, so this is your graph. This is the graph, okay? So this is a graph, and p of x equal to, what is that? X cubed plus x squared minus 5x plus 3, okay? And it is also the factorized form x minus 1 squared x plus 3. So they are the same thing, it's just this one is factorized form, okay? So this is the graph over here. Now we are coming to the step 4. This is a new stuff, okay? Now let me write the question again. We are asking to solve x cubed plus x squared minus 5x plus 3 smaller and equal to 0, okay? So smaller and equal to 0. Now it is also so the graph is already over here on the top. So this whole thing is your p of x, okay? So we are looking for the y value, which is over here. So that is your p of x, which is also your y-axis, okay? So we are looking for which is the part that is smaller than 0, okay? So I'm going to use a different color, and then you will see. Now this part is the green part over here. That is the part, the y is smaller than 0, okay? And then the point over here, x is equal to -3, that point is and equal to 0, okay? So that is the part that y is smaller than 0, and because we have equal to 0, so this is the point, x equal to -3, and also x equal to 1. That is the time when p of x, which is this equation over here, equal to 0, all right? So therefore, by inspecting the graph, okay, x, so you say for this part, because that is your x, for this part, x need to be smaller and equal to -3, okay? Because when x is equal to -3, y is equal to p of x is equal to 0, okay? We need that equal to 0 as well. So this is part, and we do have one more point that satisfies this inequality, okay? Because x is equal to 1, because when x is equal to 1, that is the time when x is equal to 0. So it's part of inequality. So therefore, your answer is this, okay? So now, coming back, you see the step over here. First of all, you need to factorize it, okay? So if you don't know how to factorize it, go to check your notes on 60, okay? So you see here, if you don't know how to factorize it, and then you can't do this problem, all right? Then step 2, factorize this, and then you need to draw the graph. If you don't know how to draw the graph, again, you can't move on. So go back to 6F if you don't know how to draw the graph. And then after you finish the graph, you just simply by inspecting to where this is the y value smaller and bigger than 0, okay?